Higgs boson,
चंद्रशेखर लिमिट,
string theory,
न्यूट्रिनोस,
quantum entanglement.
कुछ समझा क्या?
Ever felt bored and confused while reading lengthy physics textbooks or articles?
Yeah, on God, bro.
I'm Arnav,
And I'm Pratham.
and welcome to Quark Talk, where we decode all the complexities and simplify these intricate concepts in physics.
They may have seemed too complex to understand until now.
In today's special episode, we have Vividh Mahajan, a rising third year math and computer science student at the University of Waterloo. He's also my cousin brother. So he's here to give us a student's perspective on AI and tech, like what it's like, basically, what it's like learning, building, and experimenting as an undergrad in one of the world's top CS programs.
Yeah, he's here to tell us what Waterloo students know and what the rest of us don't.
I'll try not to overhype it. But yeah, I would say definitely that being at Waterloo gives you a unique perspective, especially when you're building in the real world while doing co-op and also attending classes, all pretty much at a
Simultaneously.
constant back-to-back pace.
So let's start with co op, okay? Everyone talks about Waterloo's co op system. It's like world renowned. But why does it matter for students in like math or CS or like AI in general?
Co-op is huge in Waterloo. I would say one of the reasons why it is so renowned in the first place is because if you would notice, these are the fields where being actually able to do the work well is something that matters quite a bit. And being able to get that kind of experience before you even graduate is something that is pays back multiple times over after graduating. And not only that, you get to work at some of the top companies, work on some products that people actually use with real data set, production level code, and actual kind of problem that people have. And that kind of exposure just helps you understand better and kind of accelerate your personal and professional career.
So it's basically like learning AI and CS while getting paid to do it. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, there are limitations too. You can't always get it right. You have to start from somewhere. There's always a learning curve to almost anything you do, and it is kind of tricky to get the balance right. But with this kind of experience of co-op, you get to kind of figure it out a bit earlier and learn better, and that would help you quite a lot in your career.
So you like make mistakes and learn. That's the thing, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And now, so when you went like data, like when you meant like you learn basically, and like when there are data sets, like you need data sets, right? When you're learning in CS, you need data sets. Right.
Sure, yeah.
So when you say real data sets, what does that mean exactly? Like how is it different from what you would do in class or what Pratham and I would do in our like before uni, like in our high school classes?
Yeah. So in this case, I guess real data sets means kind of getting proper experience and being able to get the reps in to understand it better. And in this case, real data set would be just getting experience working on projects and working on code. In this case, where people actually use and kind of get experience of like the code breaking in production and kind of learning what people want to see and what is something that would be valuable to someone. And that is kind of process itself teaches you a lot about like problem solving and critical thinking, especially with now AI being a huge part of just the world in general at this point.
Yeah.
I see. So learning AI or CS in class is theory, and co-op is basically the sandbox where you face reality.
Yeah, exactly. You get to work with both together and kind of understand what are the relationships between them and how you could fit in the picture to make it both work together.
And how does that translate to like maybe like you've obviously done like many student projects and you've done like I know you just run agentic AI like recently, like so you've done like many things like that. So how does that translate to that? And because I've heard Waterloo has a ton of student run AI ventures.
Yeah, so definitely Waterloo is one of the top founders for the Y Combinator, which is a popular investment.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
I think it was started by Elon Musk. I think. No?
No.
Or he was part of it at some time. Like
No, it was started by Peter Thiel, who was Elon Musk's.
Oh yeah,
Elon Musk.
he wrote the book 0 to 1. Yeah. I know that guy.
Elon Musk was related to it somewhere.
Yeah. So Y Combinator essentially helps give investment to founders who have a good idea and they believe in, and they help them kind of get started with their network and how to kind of work around being a founder for the first time. And Waterloo is one of the
Best places.
top students and top founders compared to university like Stanford and Harvard and all the other Ivy Leagues.
So it's like kind of like Shark Tank, but for STEM startups.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing, but not every student is trying to launch a company, right? How do students get involved in, say, something like AI research while still in undergraduate courses?
Yeah, so there are a few ways to go about it. The easiest way is to kind of talk to your university, not just at Waterloo, but even in general.
Yeah.
You could kind of apply to a professor's research work. You could kind of work at the university itself to build their infrastructure or any other project they may be working on. And there are also clubs where you can be part of where they do capstone projects to kind of test out concepts in the real world. You can also kind of just do your own thing and just build your own
Yeah.
company. If you can do that, then that's great. You just employed yourself.
Okay, now moving a bit away from the previous topics, we have another question is, what exactly is the difference between AI research and building AI? You just said like you can build your own AI, this thing you employ yourself basically. So what's the difference between researching that and building that? Because sometimes they sound similar.
Yeah, so basically research focuses more on the development of new methods, new algorithms, and like you need to have a very deep theoretical understanding of not only just AI but machine learning also, because that is essentially what is underneath the umbrella term AI, and that is something that would kind of be critical to your work. But if you're building AI applications, you don't necessarily need to know the underlying infrastructure of how the AI is kind of built and how it's improved upon. You just need to know how it works and how to use it. And you need to be able to like spot areas where, let's say, for AI, you want to automate customer service. So being able to identify, okay, yes, customer service in this company is a bottleneck and we would want to use that.
Yeah, weak point, yeah.
So research is basically asking why, and applications are asking how can we use that.
Exactly, that is correct.
So what about learning AI outside the classroom? Like any tips for students who aren't in labs or startups like us? Like we are still not gone to university yet, right? Yeah, we're still going so.
Yeah, so I would say the best thing is just to kind of practice, just play around with it. Even if you're not a CS student, you can just kind of spin up ChatGPT and make it to create a game for you and kind of explore that way. And just kind of build it into your workflow, because at this point, AI is seeming to be here for a while and you're not going to be able to keep up with people using AI. So you need to kind of just understand how it works and how to use it better.
Yeah. When people hear AI, they often think of something like robots or voice assistants. Can you clarify what AI really means, what it really is?
Yeah, so AI is essentially a glorified autocomplete. It kind of just sees what all data you've put in the words you've spoken and it says, okay, based on these words, I think this is the next word. And then it takes those words again and then restarts the process and says, okay, from based on these words, this is the next word. And that kind of continues and it gives an impression of human intelligence. And it's able to recognize images by converting it into a format it can understand, understanding languages, making predictions, and analyzing patterns in general.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is something which I would say has broad applications, and robotics and voice assistants are one of the few kind of easy to kind of get started on and understand and see, yes, this is something that could be easily automated with AI.
Yeah, so it's basically constantly learning and then predicting. Yeah, and machine learning is what exactly?
AI, ML, these buzzwords.
We've heard a lot, but
we don't know what that is.
I would probably say machine learning is the underlying like builder of AI itself, and it is about just creating the models, because essentially when we refer to AI nowadays, we're talking about a large language model. When you're talking about ChatGPT, so when you're talking about an LLM, that is essentially what the process I mentioned. It takes in a bunch of words and then predicts the next word. So it is not something that knows everything and it's kind of making up stuff as it goes along. It has a bunch of data it has already known. It has kind of some relations between this word and that word and kind of says, okay, so if this word happens, then next. If you say cats and the next word will likely predict dogs.
Yeah.
So kind of it takes on those patterns which people have spoken, like on the data it's trained, the internet, various documents, books.
Yeah.
Even
kind of-
Twitter, even Twitter. Grok.
Yeah,
That's Grok. Yeah, that's Mecha Hitler. What was it? It was calling itself Mecha Hitler.
yeah. I mean, it's just regurgitating what people have been saying based on what you ask.
True.
Fair, fair. So if I wanted to learn AI as a student or people younger than me, like maybe my sister, what would these like younger children want to do if they wanted to learn AI? Should they just not rely on classes? Should they look further?
I would say, especially for students who are still in school, in high school, middle school, for them specifically, you should at least have a base of understanding of all the different subjects. And I think that curriculum is pretty well set. But I think they should also be kind of at least playing around with AI and understanding it, because at least at this point, AI is basically a PhD level expert at whatever subject you want. And
Yeah.
it would be kind of dumb not to use that and
Yeah.
try to figure out and reach that level on your own, especially as a middle schooler, high schooler.
Yeah, that's fair. Another like question is basically I've heard like this is a personally like because I've heard AI is also changing how students study and learn currently. Like for example, personally I would say is Duolingo. I have Super Duolingo, but there's Duolingo Max, which is using an AI tutor to tutor students like very specifically. So can you give more examples like that?
Yeah, I would definitely say that is kind of the most ripe area for innovations with AI, because having AI tools like a personal tutor, someone like taking notes for you and getting quizzed on topics you're specifically weak on based on your history of that subject, those kind of things are something that will help students find weaknesses which maybe teachers couldn't, because they were working with 20 students at a time. But an AI assistant can work with you
Yeah.
individually and know your history. Like maybe in second grade you struggled with a specific concept, and now in fifth grade you're doing a new concept, and that is like a building on that. So it'll know that about you and be
Personal
able to drill
attention.
you on that to improve you. So it's like a very personalized experience, and you can like speed up your learning if you kind of use it in the right way.
Yeah, so basically AI could be your personal study buddy without complaining when you procrastinate.
Exactly. You just provided the context and it'll give you whatever help you need. You just need to push it in the right direction.
Great. So what about interdisciplinary applications? Like for example, physics and CS or math and CS or anything. Like are Waterloo students working with AI in unexpected fields, maybe like art or whatever?
I mean, I would definitely say that there are a lot of applications for these kind of AI
In different fields.
Yeah, you could literally take any field and you could always find some application, because there's always some clerical work. There's always something that is repetitive and can be automated away, like like Excel sheets, putting in data in Excel sheet. That is something that is kind of very basic and kind of takes human time, which could be used for something else. So use AI to automate it. You could kind of just eliminate that section entirely from the job market.
Yeah.
So how do students basically keep up with the rapid pace of this AI development?
That is an interesting question. I'm not sure if there is even an answer to that. You just kind of wing it and do whatever you think is going to be the next big thing and hope that it is, and just kind of build your skills on it. And I would say that if you want to build a skill that would be the most useful is understanding how AI works and understanding how to learn. Because if you know how to learn, you can pick up any new skill that is relevant.
Yeah. So it's just basically about like being open to learning, basically.
Yeah, you just need to not even open to learning. It's about even knowing yourself, because each person learns differently. And if you understand how to exactly learn a specific topic, you'll be able to speed run it.
Speed run it, yeah. So how does a student with like a student that hasn't done CS ever, like as in maybe middle schoolers or high schoolers, how does a student without a CS background start working on AI projects?
Like I said earlier, you could just ask ChatGPT or something to just kind of make a website for you. You could go on Cursor and just type "make me a website for this."
Wait, what's Cursor?
Yeah, so I should probably explain that. Cursor is basically a VS Code fork which allows you to
explain it a bit more, a bit simpler.
Okay,
it's for middle schoolers to understand.
It is a development environment where you can write code and AI will help you with it. So you can ask AI to help you with your code you're writing, and it will be able to understand what file you're working on, what the project it is, and it'll be able to make changes for you directly in the file itself without you having to copy paste it from ChatGPT or whatever website you're using for it.
Interesting. Okay, so last question. For all the prospective students who are listening, who want to follow your path, what's the advice that you can give them?
I would say probably the best advice I could give is to be curious and be proactive. And like I said, the best skill to learn is being a good learner and just understanding how to learn. And you could, at this time, just create opportunities, because AI is something that is making strides every week, every month, and there's always something new. And you being able to kind of find that opportunity and create it for yourself, honestly, is something that is very possible.
It's
And
invaluable to like create these opportunities and then use them, like the golden opportunities when they come.
yeah, exactly. And to be able to identify these opportunities before they kind of hit mainstream is by getting experience and
Yeah.
putting in the work, doing the reps, and you will be able to kind of, you'll just hit gold at that rate. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good plan, knowing the uncertainty that the whole world is facing about this. And if nothing else, at least we can all say that we tried before AI took over our jobs.
True. So thank you so much, Vividh, for giving us this eye-opening perspective, and also inspiring for, like, it's also very inspiring for any student interested in AI and not interested in AI. Now they'll maybe be interested in AI because of this.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me. It was a great experience, and I hope someone took something valuable out of it that could help them in the future.
Yeah, and to all our listeners, stay curious, experiment, and remember that AI is powerful, but human initiative still drives the most exciting breakthroughs. And maybe don't let your AI recommend your next podcast episode. It might just hijack your podcast playlist.
I mean, it can hijack via hacking only.
Yeah, true enough.
So both ways, you were right.